Welcome, listeners, to another maybe do we have one already unscripted?
Yeah,
Well, this is
another
all
Another one of our
unscripted, honey.
unscripted Harlots of Spook Talk.
it's
I'm your guest, La Monyeka.
I'm LD.
and I'm Karli. This is going to be unscripted, unedited. We're just going to roll with it and have some fun with today's episode.
Unedited?
We'll
No.
edit it. We'll edit it. Okay,
Okay.
guys.
We're winging it, is what we're trying to tell you guys. We're flying with our wings today.
Okay, we're going to give her a heart attack over
Oh,
here.
my OCD is flying.
And don't forget to always send us any stories y'all might have at spooktalk@gmail.com. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it out, please, guys. And one last thing, don't forget to check out our new sister podcast on Spotify and Amazon, I think it is.
Amazon Music, yep.
Amazon Music. Yeah.
And so that's going to be, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead. No.
I was going to say that's Host Spiritual on Amazon and Amazon Music, like she said. And also, if you have any ghost stories, any opinions, send us an email at harlotspooktalk@gmail.com.
Yeah, we
And
love your
then,
feedback, guys, so give it to us.
so today's episode, we're going to let her lead to with it and get into what we need to get into. Aliens.
Different types of aliens.
Do you want to kick that off?
Oh, yeah. So, different types of aliens. I was actually going to let, La
Yep.
Monyeka
Take this
fly.
one.
Yeah.
Yes. Let's let her take this
Okay,
one.
I thought we were gonna pause and then stop the intro and then do another one, but we're gonna fly by the seat of our
Yep.
pants. Let's do it.
Let's
All
do
right,
this.
so we're definitely unscripted, guys, of course, but we decided we wanted to talk about different types of aliens, and we always talk. Back in the day when we were younger, for the more mature women, we remember just hearing about them. We didn't really hear about anything but UFOs. Now we have IA. Now we have aliens. Now there's many different types of species of aliens, and I told the girls I just wanted to tell you guys about my experiences. We're talking about different types of aliens. Now I know we've all heard of the grays, which are the ones that you naturally see in pictures with the big oval head. They're usually green, but they call them the grays because they say that the gray ones look the same, but they're short. So that's one of the ones I know that they call them. They call them the grays, and the reason why they call them the grays is because they are gray and they have an aura of gray. We have what we talk about Pleiadians as well, who are considered to be another species, but who look human-like and have long white hair.
Okay,
Now,
hold on.
I got
Let's slow down. I'm sorry. So, we have the gray aliens right here. Is this it?
Yes, that's
Okay.
what we consider the grays. Yes.
Let's
Now,
do
the
Okay.
grays are also known for being very short. When I say short, I mean like 5 foot, 5 foot and down. This is
Okay,
the one I
girl.
told y'all about in my last when we were talking about the plasma TVs and how I had seen one. This was exactly what I saw when I woke up that day or that night. Now, when you
Oh,
see these beings, they have an aura of gray as well. Like their aura shines right off of them. So like it's a very tight aura, but they're gray. They look just like this. They are short, and the one I saw happened to have a very gray aura. Hmm.
that's creepy. Can we go back to sexy?
Now, these from what we've seen and read about as far as what they're like, they're not really they don't really communicate via conversation like we have words. They communicate telepathically. um I don't know if anybody else has experience with that as far as with
But
IA or anything
that's
like that, or artificial intelligent people, but or other beings, but these beings were studied in CIA documents and things like that about about how they did find some and things like that, and
Yeah.
they do say that that's how they talk. They have the ability to have conversations, but they prefer to speak that way. These are actually kind of the ones that they say that they saw in Roswell when
but
when the UFO hit.
I can see
that's
that.
creepier if they
Well,
can.
I'm so okay. Let me go back to sexy
No,
aliens.
no. I
Anyway,
meant how they communicate would be scarier, like
well,
creepier.
I don't know because honestly, like I've said this before, like when we talk to like spirits and stuff, they're not always opening their mouth. They're
No.
like you're getting images, you're getting words, but without the mouth moving. You know what I mean? So it's kind of. I think for me, the alien thing is not the telepathic thing. I think it's the fact I don't want you to touch me.
Probe you.
Me, I think they're
Like,
naked.
not that they want to touch me. Definitely, like the idea of someone taking control of my body. I have no control of my body. I'm flying somewhere. I'm not okay with. I don't know how I'm gonna deal with death.
Can I say this? This looks like a poster that belongs in a teenage boy's room or girl's room. I'm just gonna put that out there now.
Hey Billy, I got a poster for you. Every time we do aliens, I have to wear this wig. This reminds me like 70s, like Donna. Just kidding.
I think she needs a cup of coffee.
Coffee.
I think when I
I
think
was
of
like,
aliens,
I'm
I
done.
think I'm so
I'm done.
worried
I'm
because
not
if we ever came in encounter together with one of these, the first thing would be like, "Is they're naked? They're naked. Their jibs are out, and they don't even have
saying.
jibs apparently."
I was gonna say, ain't they unisex? Like
I would still
all
think
in
the jibs
one.
are out because they look naked, you know.
Are they? Do
I'll
well?
be
They. I know
pretty
they
sure
have gender. I think they're not by non-bear. They're not. Oh my god. Blah,
Well,
blah,
research
blah.
and studies have said that they don't have gibbets, but they are male and female.
I
Because,
just
like,
wanted to
even
be
though their gibbets don't show, I don't know why we're calling them gibbets, but their privates don't show out like men's and women's show.
Gibbet.
gibbets. I do. I just
Gibbets.
want to go up to it and like twist it.
Teddy, Texas Teddy Twister. Hell yeah.
They're probably gonna be like, yeah. So
You're
those,
getting probed.
They'll be, they'll be like,
we know who's on the
oh,
list. So I
oh my
honestly,
god.
when I that was kind of my first idea of one before, but then when I had that situation happened, that's when I really like I wasn't one to really believe in artificial aliens and things like that until like because like I'm one of those people like Carly says like I have to see it I have to like and I don't mean to even be that way because spiritually I didn't need to see God to know that there was one but for me because other people have talked about beings and you had the government telling us that they weren't there and like we talked about all that stuff.
I never
um
believe the government anymore. It's all a lie.
I just did. I guess for me, it was harder to believe because I've seen so many humans, and I've never really seen other beings until I started to get like in those moments of my life where I had two different moments where I saw two different beings. That's when the reality set in. We're not the only being here on this earth. Like it's one thing to
Yeah.
understand spiritual stuff. It's another thing. It's another type of reality in your mind and in your mind box that has to be opened of understanding when you see other beings because we're human beings and we have animals around us at all time. Nobody ever talks about other beings being on this earth.
But that's the thing. If you ever looked up at the universe for any amount of time and just can you really imagine we're the only ones on this plane? Like
Yeah,
really, how can
at one
you look
time when I
at
was
it?
a kid, I did think that, and how naive of us,
Yeah, like look at it. It's huge.
Mhm.
And you're telling me nothing else is out there we don't know. Like
Mhm.
that's hard to believe that we you know what I mean? It gotta be something
Yeah.
else.
And
It
then you
has
see, we all have movies and entertainment that show us different beings as entertainment. But then, like I said, coming into encounter with one of those braves really opened my brain. I cried. I was depressed. I was like, we're not the only ones. But like, how dumb of me to even think that, But I
Did
feel
you
like
look up in porn or something? Like where did you get these
I just typed in grays.
sorry.
I'm sorry.
I think about this. I'm gonna throw this out there because we're girls, anyways, and we're talking about this. You know how they say we only use part of our brain as humans, right? I wonder if it's because if they use both sides of their brain, that their brain has evolved to such a big thing and it needs such a big skull.
Well, I
We
mean,
have
even on.
found
Mhm.
sorry, archaeologists have found the skulls like that. Just to let you
See?
know.
So they haven't just been around for a while; they've been around for a while.
Ugh.
They're saying even in the ancient civilization where there was like all the big statues that were under the ground and things like that, that's why they wore the hats because they were hiding their head.
I- What were you gonna say up there? I feel like the Brady Bunch again. What were you gonna say up there?
I don't know, I just can't stop looking at her butt, like
My thing is, I wonder what they eat.
I just feel like this would be y'all. If y'all were aliens, I could see y'all.
You can see
You
me
could be
busting it
like,
down like Tatiana.
"I we go down the catwalk. The
Okay,
catwalk, baby."
he has a good set of buns on him. I will give him that. Like
Little
they're
muscle,
hot
a
and
little
tight.
muscular. So
Okay,
that
let's
was the Grays.
Yeah. Alright, which one you got next? Okay, so
Okay,
that's
so
1 of
okay. So
5.
that was
We need
one
2.
being that we see. Now I want to talk about the Pleiadians. And if Mary can find the Pleiadians, if I'm not mistaken, they are more human-like looking, but they are very well known because of their prominent, distinct of hair color. Now I'm assuming that if their hair is what the way they say that they are, they color their hair to blend in. But it's been said that the Pleiadians have very white long hair, if I'm not mistaken, but that they
Okay,
look like us. Like they just are. They just have this
bright blue eyes?
intelligence about them that people look at like, oh, you look a little different, you know? Like they look normal, like normal human beings, but let me see. Yeah, do you see like this would look like what we would think would be considered to be a human being. Only they're known for very bright blue eyes, almost like sea blue, like and then very celestial white hair. When we get gray and white hair, some of us has silver hair. The hair that they explain that they have is like a white, not gray white, not silver, but white, distinct white hair. And they say that a lot of times it's very rare that you see anybody with short hair, even the males. So I would naturally think that if these beings are with us too, they're either
Mhm.
toning their hair or coloring it or something, because that type of being, when people say that they come encounter with those people, it's a very phenomenal thing. It's a very eye-opening experience, because and then you see, and people have talked about their skin being very fair, very clear. There's no acne, there's no pimples. It's a very, very strong type of being, and the presence of them, it seems the same way. They are known to love us and to be very like good to human beings. Yeah, definitely not this one. This one looks like it's gonna eat us all, but it actually looked
Y'all
like what was probably in my garbage disposal.
y'all said we could get a little loosey goosey today.
But yeah, I just want to throw this out there. So the Greys are known to be sometimes a little malicious, but if sometimes you got good and bad too, Now Pleiadians were supposedly known to be our protectors, to be watchful of us, to be people who care about the human being and the human race, because they say because that we were people of this land and of this earth that they came to, that we have lots of resources that they're grateful for. But the Pleiadians are supposedly people who who like are here to help us and protect us. Now,
Mhm.
LD Pteloma, you want to explain that photo?
Oh, this one?
No, the one
Hmm.
prior.
No, this one just came up. I've heard of like people like when you do readings and they're like, I don't feel like I'm from here. I'm from another planet. So I kind of wonder if this kind of goes in with the theme. I can't explain this photo. I just know that they have no eyes. So I'm assuming that they are the enemy, helping
You know
people
what?
more
Wait, you know
Yeah,
and
what though? Now that we're talking about these kids, it reminds me of a photo. So there have been many photos that have surfaced in the Philippines where Filipinos and aliens have been walking around together for a very long time. So apparently, if I'm not mistaken, the Filipino people in the island of the area in the areas where there are villages are known to to know these beings, to know an artificial like a not artificial, but an IA, like a different being that is very common to them. That's not common to them, but uncommon to us who see them. About I want to say maybe 4 or 5 years ago, a couple of pictures had surfaced from people from the Philippines, like hanging out with aliens. And somebody, like I guess a photographer, took a photo and was like, "This is not normal to human beings like us in the United States," and things like that. And so after it kind of got put out, I think it was like on MySpace or something like that at the time. It got shut down right after like the photo surfaced for a while. But I know that there is a village of people who are um, in very common knowledge of this other type of being. Now, that being was supposed to look like a gray, but be very dark toned, almost like a brown toned.
It kind of
Now,
reminds
here
me
we have
of
Yoda.
something I want to do an episode on is the star seeds.
Yes,
Yes.
Children, I would like to do an episode on that one.
we should. I think we should.
Yes.
You see
What
how,
the?
and one thing I've noticed about certain beings too is that they all have big heads. And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. I mean that in the most understanding way for you guys to see. Like, I really feel like because they have such a high intelligence that there's a bigger brain that needs more function and more room. Like, ours aren't too bad, but I'm sure they probably call us little heads. You know what I'm saying?
But they're
I mean, think
they're
about it
more.
from their perspective. They're high intelligent beings. They're like, oh, look at these dummies with small
Yes,
heads.
I
Like,
mean they're more advanced.
literally
They
half
use
their brain.
yeah, they use more of their brain than we do.
hmm Okay, so let's see. Let's go into our reptilians now.
Yes.
Now, reptilians are a different being for sure. They are considered to be, they grow. So, they say that some get as big as maybe anywhere from 6'4" to anywhere from like 5'5", 5'9". Now, I can tell you something, from experience. I had I never knew what the name was, but I did encounter one when I was 21. Now, when I had encountered the one that was a gray, I was already in my 30s, maybe mid 30s. I'm about, well, no, early 30s. I say early 30s because I'm already going to be 38 this year. So that one happened not too long ago with the grays. When I was younger and I was 21, I worked at Sonic most of my teenage, like my high school years, right? And then I wound up just staying there after high school, and I became an assistant manager during that time. Well, when you're an assistant manager in a Sonic, I worked front area and I had a manager for the back and the cooks and stuff, right? Once in a while, we'll go out and take a drink out or something, but usually we're just trying to get everybody going in the
Trigger
front,
warning.
keeping everybody in the good mood. Well, we were really busy on a Friday night, and I had no idea what this was that I saw. That's not it, but that's a
Oh,
good one of an alien. Um, so what I'm going to tell you what happened. So what happened was I had a Route 44 cherry limeade that needed to go out, and usually drinks go out that are singles rather than food first, right? So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna take this drink out real quick. Boom. It was just supposed to be run in, run out, and literally the stall was right outside the door to the left, and come back in so I can get everything going still, right? Because it's a busy night. I take the drink. I'm like, hey, and you have to be really smiley when you're meeting people. Like, hey, you got a Route 44 cherry limeade. It's gonna be so and so. How much, right? And then I just remember saying it, being happy and being a cheerful person to give them their drink, just to be in the mood. And I just remember thinking, there's this car that this guy was in was very dark. Considering that it's nighttime and he's coming to get a drink, it's nighttime outside, but Sonic has bright lights, so that you guys can talk to the people. I literally just in my zone of Sonicism, I'm like, hi, here's your Robert for cherry limeade. It's so and so, how much money? Three something, whatever, right? And then all of a sudden, like, because what I'm looking at is just like, here's your drink. But then I realized, like, the whole car is dark. There's light on it, so why is it so dark inside? Maybe he's sitting way back here, which he was, and I saw a steering wheel. So when I'm looking, hi, how you doing? I'm giving him the drink and I'm happy. I look like there's nobody there, but then all of a sudden I see somebody get up, like from the seat, I guess, and he was a white male. This is how I would explain it in my 20s. In my 20s, it was a white male who had alligator skin, but the skin tone was white, like an Anglo, no tan, red eyes, like if he was albino, but the skin looked like an alligator skin, and it freaked me out because I was like, "Here, hi, here's your drink," and he comes out of this dark car, like the darkness of his car, and he has a hoodie on, like a black hood on. And I remember seeing him and seeing about this part of his arm and his hand. He still had a normal hand. His fingertips had nails, but the skin looked like an alligator, like a hard alligator white skin. And I just remember being super happy. And then in my soul, my stomach, my heart fell to my stomach because, one, as a natural healer and empath, I felt bad for this man's skin disease that I thought he may have had in the moment, in the quick seconds. And then all of a sudden I'm thinking, first, I'm happy. Here's the drink. I'm scared because I've never seen somebody look like this before. But then my empathy comes in and it's like, oh my God, I hope he didn't see my reaction because I'm so sorry about the skin that he has. So one, I'm happy. Two, all of a sudden I get scared, and then I'm like, shit, man, this guy must have a disease or something, you know? Now, mind you, I'm feeling this in my emotions. Yeah, yes. And do you see this? Okay, his eyes were red, but not green. The guys that I saw were red. So when I give him his drink and he comes and he exchanges like hand for hand. He gets the drink and he gives me like $3 or $4 and some change. So we're doing this as I'm feeling these emotions, and I look at him. And that's when I realize his eyes are like a normal eye but red. What an albino's eyes would possibly look like, right? And I'm just trying to comprehend: is this albino? What is going on? I know I wasn't on drugs. I was sober. So this is all happening in an exchange of, I don't know, 38 seconds. I don't know. And I grab the money, I give him the drink, and then I feel this way, and he hears me. I know he hears me. For some reason, there was an exchange of understanding that he heard me, and I remember feeling it right here. And I know it sounds crazy because like I felt it in my chest, the emotions, but I heard he could hear me. Because in his mind, he giggled. Not a giggle like haha. It was like thanks for my drink. He did a giggle. He did a giggle in his mind because I heard it, and I exchanged, and he said thanks for my drink, and I was just like, yeah, have a good day. And I slowly walked
Mm.
away. I think when I got there I was just so cheery, and then the exchange of energy and understanding was like too much for me. So but then I was trying to be nice too, like sure, like have a good day.
Yeah.
I just totally thought you were a diseased weirdo. Sorry, but and I know you heard me, so I felt bad. But then I even felt even worse because I've never seen a human being like that. I walked back slowly. I remember putting the money in my thing and just sitting down. Like when you could walk in, there was a little place where we would stack boxes of mints. I just sat down on that pole and I was like, my
Mm.
boss was like, Monica, are you okay? I was like, yeah, give me a minute. I remember putting my hands over myself, like, God, am I tripping? Did I just see what I just saw? Like the feeling I felt was like I just found my husband cheating on me with my best friend. Like when your heart falls to your stomach. That's exactly I remember how I felt. And then knowing that I know he heard me and he kind of laughed it off because he knew he showed me who he was. So I was like, all right, I'm not going back out for the rest of the night. And I did not go out for a while after that. Like I didn't care if I was like, send somebody else. I don't want to go out right now. Like I just didn't want that to happen to me again. I didn't want to run into that person again. Because it was almost like it was maliciously done. Like he did it to scare me, and the fact that he scared me, he giggled, and then he was just like, have a good day. So that now at the time I didn't know what he was. I just knew that's what he looked like. So then years later, the reptilians come out and there's a photo. And I remember thinking he wasn't green though. He was white. I remember I'm gonna tell you right now. When something traumatizes you, you remember it like yesterday. You remember the
Mhm.
smell, you remember the person, you remember the details. And as soon as I saw a reptilian, I said, that looked like the kid. And he looked like he was maybe 22 at the time in his facial structure. Like I would have thought this dude was like 20 in his 20s. He had a black hood on. He was probably working out or something. I thought maybe he was working out or something. That's why he had a hood on. Then when I saw who he was and what he was, I was like, I didn't know what to call him. Then I saw years later, the reptilian picture came out, and I was like, "That's what he looked like." He had the reptile skin, and it was white, and it was shocking. But everybody always talks about them being gray, but they also talk about them being able to shape shift and color change. So for me, I feel like I did run into a reptilian. I know it. I know it in my soul. I know that he was a reptilian, but I didn't know what to call him at that point. So now that I'm a grown woman, I've read about it, I've learned about it, it just all fell into place. The way they communicate is via telepathically, but they can look like us, they can shift change, they can turn themselves into what they want us to see. Now, what I saw was a man who I thought was a young man with really bad skin. And the only way I could have justified it at that time was I thought he may have had a disease that caused his skin to get messed up. But now I'm starting to see that he unveiled himself to me just a little bit as a
Yeah.
mischievous thing that he did to scare me. And why me? Why me? I don't fucking know. Maybe because I was just the one who brought him the drink that day. But I
That
never went
is
out, and it just so happened that it was me who went out that day. And I always wonder, like, I don't think it was one of those things where it was like, I want to see this person. I think it was just one of those things that just happened to be a supernatural person who was meeting another supernatural person, and then he unveiled himself a little bit as a joke. to scare me, which he did scare me. He fucking got me. You know what I'm saying? Like if I ever see him again, I'll probably punch him in his balls. But I'm just saying that day,
Get his
definitely
balls.
be thinking for years. Now the reptilians are known to be very like mean to our human being like people, like to us as humans.
Yeah.
We are they're known to be very mean to us. And apparently they don't like the reptilian name. Like they don't like to be called reptilians.
Hmm.
So I don't know what name they prefer, but I have heard that they say they do not like that name and that they do like to pick on us.
I could see that.
Some of them have some people have even said, like people who study them, some people say that they think that they survive off of our blood and they actually eat us. I don't know that much about them enough to know what they do and eat because I really don't like being around beings that don't like us because they think of us less and they have no remorse to take our life. You know what I'm saying? There
Yeah.
are rules apparently in the what is it, the Galactica Federation of whatever the government talks about, that there's rules. There are rules. We have agreed, the government, somewhere in the government, the highest government of secretive stuff, there's an agreement where a certain amount of people are allowed to be taken by IA people with nobody looking or nobody saying anything, but it has to be a certain amount of number. Now, what was agreed upon in the first agreement with the IAs that were allowed to take people to do testing on and things like that, with us looking the other way, that count was only supposed to be like, I want to say, I think if I'm not mistaken, it was supposed to be like 200 people a year is what the
Wow.
for with them as a treaty. Like, oh, we'll let you take 200 people a year in exchange for technology. And
Okay.
now that number has significantly grown. So people joke around. There's so many different things about how people are going missing and that's what we're eating and all kinds of stuff. There's plenty of things, but for sure there was something in the CIA documents that said that there was a treaty between government and artificial people. We don't know which being this happened with, but it happened with an alien force where there was going to be an exchange of technology for a certain amount of people that they could take off the planet. And so now the number has changed significantly. It's not 200 anymore. It's definitely a lot more. I don't know what the agreement now is, but there was an agreement between the federal galactica of whatever with our government to be able to take a certain amount of people without us looking and saying anything. So when people go missing, some people really do go missing because other people are out here doing bad things. But then there's sometimes things that happen like a whole bus goes missing and nobody what happens, or a whole plane goes missing of people and nobody knows what happens. The government knows, but they've come into an agreement where they look the other way. So that's kind of too why I worry about certain beings, because I just want my kids to be safe. I don't want to be in destruction with any type of being, even if they hate us.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
reptilians are known to have a very bad rap on the way they treat us, and they have um, no respect for human life. It's what it seems like from all the research that I've read and seen in CIA documents, that they don't like us. I hear that they like our resources though, like the fact
Yeah.
clean water, something about the trees, some type of energy that the trees gives out or something. And for some reason they are known to live like underground, not in
That's
sewers like people say, but like in
yeah.
cool areas.
So what is no, okay, so we got 3. You said there's 5? What's number 4?
I don't know. Let's see. We got the Greys, we got the Pleiadians, we have the Reptilians.
Uh,
Do we have anybody else we want to talk about? Anybody else?
I'm good. I'm fantastic. I was like, I learned a lot today. And now I'm definitely having nightmares. Thank you.
Fine.
But I think we are running out of time tonight. Thank you for sharing. I hope y'all had fun. And if you know of a different kind of alien, harlots
Or
at
you have
spirittalk
a
at
favorite aliens
gmail.com.
that you have had, guys. Please tell us.
Yes.
Even if it means telling us that you were probed, we won't say your name.
We won't tell anybody you were
We'll use
probed.
other names as well.
Yes.
Yes,
We'll
like
keep you in that.
Barb.
Nothing that leads back to you, promise.
All right. Well, y'all stay safe, stay out of trouble, like, share, subscribe, and have a good night.
Good night,
And
guys.
stay spooky.